What's going on, guys? It's Dill here from the Yakuza, bringing you a little One Piece discussion today. There's been a lot going on in One Piece. I just kind of wanted to talk about the state of things, what might be happening. There's been a lot of news. Where we're at in the arc right now, things are really, really heating up and are about to get big. Okay, so we have the Scabbards against Kaido. We have Drake being turned on by the Flying Six and Queen. They find out that he is working with the Marines. We have Duke Dogstorm and Nekomamushi about to square off with Jack. All the minks up on the roof uh, in their Sulong form, although mostly silhouetted. They haven't really been revealed, like what Nekomamushi's Sulong form looks like. So let's just talk about it. We'll start with who I think is going to fight who. Um, I think the Flying Six will be dealt with by the lower tier of Straw Hats, as well as some other important side characters. So, like, we might get Usopp, Robin, Chopper, Frankie. Their fights might be Flying Six fights because there's only so many commanders to go around to fight. And to be honest, we don't have very many people on the Straw Hats that can fight commanders. Like, we got Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei. Those are really the guys that we know can handle commanders, that can fight commanders. We're not sure where exactly they stack up or anything, but I see I still see Zoro fighting King, Sanji fighting Queen. Um Not sure who Jinbei is going to fight. I see Jinbei teaming up with somebody to fight. I'm not exactly sure who yet. We also have Drake that's with us now, so we might possibly see Drake versus like Who's Who, Drake versus Page One. Maybe not Page One. That would be kind of boring because uh, Drake kind of outclasses Page One in every way. So maybe Drake versus maybe Drake versus Page One. Not Page One. Maybe Drake versus Who's Who. That would probably make a lot of sense. Um, we also got the ordeal with Hawkins, where he's reading his tarot card. There's somebody with a 1% chance of surviving tomorrow. Now, who could that be? Obviously, you think Luffy, you think Kaido. I mean, I think Luffy would be kind of too obvious. I think that's what Oda wants everybody to think. And then you have Kaido, which him having a 1% chance of surviving until tomorrow, I think at that point, that's just unrealistic. And Hawkins would immediately jump ship because Hawkins is obviously like an opportunist. He's just reading his cards, waiting for like a way out of this. So there's a possibility that it's a Law. Law is very, very much supposed to die in this arc. He's very foreshadowed to die in this arc. I don't know if he's going to die in this arc yet. Or like I don't know if he's going to die yet just because of his increase in popularity. Law is basically a straw hat at this point. He's one of the main characters in the series. He wasn't even supposed to be this important, but he was just so popular. His Devil Fruit is so badass that, especially with the fact that Oda doesn't like killing characters. I know that there's going to be a major character death in this arc, and it could very well be Law. I'm just not 100% sure yet. Um, Story wise, I think it would make sense. I don't know if I want to see him go though. So as far as who the 1% is, Luffy, Kaido, Law, it's hard to tell. Probably not Drake because I mean he was reading his tarot cards right before Drake got found out, or like right before Drake got confronted by Queen and Who's Who. So it's really hard to tell. It's definitely got to be somebody important though. I mean, it might even be somebody. We recently saw someone that was like silhouetted, like watching everything happen. Like it could be somebody that's like very important that Hawkins knows is there, no one else is there. So it's really hard to tell who that is. Possibly Luffy. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, it's it's kind of confusing like what's gonna happen with Kaido because the scabbards aren't really gonna give him much of anything. Like of course, uh, Denjiro, Ashura Doji, like people like we do have higher tiers of scabbards that are potentially not even potentially that are like Yonko commander level, but I still don't think that it's going to be enough. We're going to have to see a new Gear 5 form in this fight. I definitely see I see Luffy getting up to the roof rather soon, making maybe one warm up fight before he gets to the roof. But he'd have to make quick work of the person though. But we are going to see a Gear 5, or at least a Gear 4 variant with incorporating the Rio. Okay, Luffy's been going Gear 4 a lot already during, like, he just keeps going Gear 4. I don't know how wise that is. I don't know if he's mastered it more to where it's not so taxing on him. Um, but then again, um, I don't even know what, like, in the in this most previous chapter, he states, or Hyogoro makes a comment about, was it Hyogoro? Somebody makes a comment about how Luffy's Gear 4 kind of reminds him of like the Buddha, kind of represents the Buddha. So Gear 5, I've been seeing people say that Gear 5 might, or Gear 5 or the new Gear 4 variant might really take that concept even further and be like a Buddha form with like the shooting Rio and everything. I do think that we're going to see an interjection from either members of Sword, like an Admiral, another Yonko possibly, like this is like a really, really out there thing that I could see happening. I could actually see happening. I don't know because I just don't know because this is kind of out there, but this is my own headcanon of what could happen. So they beat. So let me think. Luffy ends up beating down like Kaido. Like it's a group effort. They end up beating down Kaido. Blackbeard Teach comes in and he takes Kaido's fruit, and then Shanks comes in to stop um, Teach. Because Shanks, like with his whatever ability he has with time, could possibly see that this is going to happen, see that Teach is going to step in. Just like when he went and warned Whitebeard about Ace confronting Teach, like you kind of got the vibe that Shanks kind of saw into the future that Ace was going to die, or at least that he knew. So if Shanks has any information on what's going down right now, even if he can't see into the future or anything, and he's like, okay, this is the time that Teach is an opportunist. Teach is going to make his move. So I'm going to step in here. And so then we could possibly see Blackbeard Pirates versus the Red Hair Pirates. And like that seems like a lot of shit happening for One Piece. One Piece usually doesn't have like that big full scale like uh all the exciting things happen at once. We usually have like a fight with like a bunch of world building and a lot of like breaking it up and stuff. But we're getting so close to the end of the series, and Oda keeps telling us that the series is going to end soon, so that like we there's so many characters that haven't got to get the spotlight yet that there is going to be a point in the near future, just like with this flashback with Roger versus Whitebeard. It seemed kind of rushed, where it was kind of just like them clash. We didn't see any fights or anything, but I think that it is time that we see certain people fight. Like we need to see Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo, Yasop, and who better to put them against than Teach. Like we can't just be building up these characters forever and ever and ever, and then him just show us like very small bits of like Ben Beckman holding a gun at somebody, or like even if they do fight with Teach's crew, I think the fandom would be very, very, very disappointed if we just saw clashes and then fights off screen. If we just see Shank, the Red Hair Pirates versus Teach, like the Blackbeard Pirates somewhere, and we see the initial clash and then it's off screen, and then we hear that Shanks' crew or Teach's crew has taken like casualties. That would be major BS on Oda's part. As much as we care about the story and everything, One Piece does need a little bit more fighting. It really does need more one-on-ones. You could have took away some of the world building, some of the plots that really didn't go anywhere, to give Zoro a warm-up fight before this, to give other people like Sanji and other people moments. Like we need more than just Luffy fights. One Piece is a lot, like it's really story driven, it's really world driven, but it is a shonen, and we One Piece without the fights just isn't One Piece. Like we still need those fights. One Piece has amazing fights, and we need to see other characters get their shine besides Luffy. We can't just keep getting this clash off-screen shit. Like in this arc, we really need to see Zoro get a fight. We really need to see Sanji get a fight, and not just a one chapter fight. We need to see them in a struggle. We need to see them with something that gives them a Zenkai boost, something that would justify them being able to fight Teach's crew at the end of the series. So, or admirals potentially. If Luffy goes up against the world government, Luffy's fighting Akainu. Well, Sanji needs to be able to fight fucking Kizaru, and Zoro needs to fight Fujito. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need, like, they need to be at this level. It's the fights are just too Luffy centric, and even though he is the main character and he should be getting the bulk of the fights, he has gotten really almost every single fight since time skip. Like we've seen just very small clashes with other people, like Zoro just shitting on people. You know, Sanji like exchanging some blows with like the Virgo fight. See, that's like the Virgo fight was all right. Him exchanging blows with Doflamingo. The fight with his dad. Like. But we really need a struggle. We need an Enies lobby in this. You know what I'm saying? Like them trying to get to the roof of Onigashima, and like everybody fighting somebody. Zoro fighting King, Sanji fighting Queen, uh, Jinbei fighting who's who, like we just need everybody getting their own fight, and even characters like, and this is just the top, like characters like Usopp, Chopper, uh, Robin, like most of the Straw Hats have been. Every one of the Straw Hats besides Luffy has been undercut in the development as far as combat, but Usopp, Chopper, like those are fights that we really like find intriguing as fans. I think seeing how Usopp, Chopper, Frankie are gonna overcome like pretty strong like foes when they're not the freaks like our big three of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and even now Jinbei. So it would be really refreshing to see like Usopp, especially Usopp. There's been so much foreshadowing of my man Usopp eventually becoming like this strong warrior of the sea, god type being, not god type, like self-proclaimed god, that he really needs to start getting these fights that and like really becoming a brave warrior of the sea. What in Elbaf is he just going to completely change into a new person? Like I think meeting his dad's going to help and everything, but giving him like a good fight against one of the Flying Six now, possibly like I honestly think that we should give Usopp a devil fruit to I think that would be a good way for him to jump in strength a little bit faster. Just like Usopp is just one of those characters that this entire series he's been like a gag character, but then also a character that you kind of like empathize for because he's like really relatable. That you want to see him get stronger. That bottom of the line is to sum up what I'm trying to say here is we need fights for every one of the Straw Hats. We've had so much world building in One Piece. How about the next 50 chapters? We just go straight fucking war. At a certain point in a shonen series, you can have all these world building little things, but at the end of the day, whoever the stronger team is going to win and is going to dominate in this world. So how about just for the next 50 fucking chapters? We just had 50 chapters of world building with very little like clash off-screen fights. How about now, Oda, give us 50 chapters where every one of the Straw Hats gets at least a 3-chapter fight. Where characters like Kid, characters like Drake get fights, and then we can be like, okay, this person's this strong. You know what I'm saying? We actually, when people fight at the end of the series, if Kid is going to be a rival for Luffy, it's realistic because he just fought a commander. You know what I'm saying? Like we need at this point. I love One Piece and its world building and story, but at this point, Oda, it is time to deliver to us on these fights, man. You can write amazing fights. Luffy versus Katakuri is such a good fight. You know, Luffy versus Lucci. Just the Arlong Park, the entire like Oda writes really really good fights when he wants to. So Oda, please give the Straw Hats a fight. You can even put them in 2-on-1 situations. You can even team them up with the Yakuza with other members of the alliance. Just give us legit fights. Have another pirate crew coming. Have the Big Mom, more of the Big Mom pirates come in. Have Shanks come in. Have Teach come in. If you just have Teach come in, that's so many more people that we can have fights, and it'll be crazy and all over the place. But it has the potential to be the greatest One Piece arc of all time because as shonen fans, we just love to see scrapping. We just love to see people fighting. So that is my soliloquy. Oda, please give us fights from characters that we love, from characters that we deserve. Um, I think that it is starting to escalate more. I really just hope that when the fights finally do come, like when we get legit, like, cause there's fights, there's like scrap, like there's like little scraps, and there's fights. Luffy like fighting like Ulti in page 1, like a little altercation. Um, and then there's Luffy fighting like Katakuri, which is like a long drawn out fight with a lot of like tactical things that we can really get invested in. So like Oda, we're kind of done with like the clashes. It's not as exciting anymore when we just see characters just do one-off attacks against fodder or against pretty, like weaker people. Give us actual drawn out fights. Give us a 2 chapter fights for each of the Straw Hats. Give us okay, I'm gonna stop ranting about this because I could go on all day about how much I love One Piece and how much more I want to see people like Zoro, Usopp get fights that they deserve. So yeah, and to wrap this up, the immortality surgery, I don't know how that's gonna go because you can't use the immortality surgery unless Law dies, and if they don't want to kill like Law's gonna have to die eventually. I just don't know how soon. So I could definitely see Luffy fighting Kaido and then Law playing the sport just like in Dressrosa and putting Luffy in the room, giving him the immortality surgery to be able to fight against Kaido, combined with a Gear 5. Then that would be your typical, like, Gon versus Pito. Um, like, how am I trying to say this? Like, Gon versus Pito, Final Getsuga, Ichigo from Bleach. Like, these characters that get these, like, burnout techniques that, like, these one time. Because if Luffy gets the immortality surgery, it's not going to last forever. Teach is, like, going to take it from him. Or, like, there'll be something, like, if Luffy gets put in the immortality room, he's not just going to be there will be a catch with it. So maybe not even that. Maybe Luffy has a Gear 5, but it cuts like his lifespan in half or something like that. Like I could see Luffy doing something like that for the greater goal of becoming the Pirate King, for beating Kaido, for freeing Wano. Like I could see Luffy having a technique like how Gear 5 like cuts his lifespan short, or Gear 4 cuts his lifespan short. I could see Gear 5 potentially like cutting his life in half, cutting 20 years off his life. Like I could see him going to that extent to free the country of Wano, to beat Kaido, to become the Pirate King. So I see that being the way that he beats Kaido, is either some kind of technique where he has to sacrifice almost everything, or the immortality room. And outside of that, I don't think teamwork's gonna work on Kaido. I really don't. Like we saw, Kaido was looking kind of iffy in the flashback where Odin kind of messed him up and stuff. But I mean, this much later, he's become a literal god in this world. He's feared. Like you don't want to mess with Kaido, and it would be kind of beat because like it'd be different if it was like a mid diff fight when Kaido one shot of Luffy, but it was like such low diff on Kaido's end that Luffy like training for a month and then being able to beat him without any kind of cost. Like we need like an extreme cost. Luffy's I'm not gonna get into this theory. I'm not gonna get into this theory. But the fight with Kaido is gonna come at a cost. Somebody's gonna die. Luffy is gonna be in extreme like agony, short lifespan. There will be a cost, and there will at the end of the fight somebody else from the outside will step in. 100%, whether it be Shanks, Teach, the Marines, there will be a, let's see how many parties, there's 3 parties in one, the Alliance, Big Mom, and Kaido. I could see a 4th to 5th party stepping in. And yeah, so to wrap this video up, I think Wano will include Gear 5. I think we need one-on-one fights. I think we need a lot of fights. Less world building, just fights at this point. We're in a war arc. I think Shanks and Teach will step in, as well as Sword, maybe an Admiral. Maybe this is where we see Green Bull. Um, and I just, we spent, like, YouTubers that talk about anime spend a lot of time, like, criticizing stuff. I just want to say that I really, 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 really am enjoying this arc, and I'm just really enjoying this manga that Oda has given us. And even when I have critiques, um, I'm still loving every chapter that comes out. I'm still loving the arc. I'm still loving the world building and the story. I'm just really itching for fights, as I feel a lot of people are. And no matter what I get, I think I will be happy. I will be mostly happy. So thank you for watching, guys. Comment down below what you would like to see in this arc, and subscribe to me if you haven't already. It means a lot, guys. I respond to all comments. Really trying to grow this channel. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you.